Flintstones. I just moved to Madison. I just came up overnight.
Everybody, good morning and welcome aboard the Red Cloud. How are you guys doing down here? Good. Are you guys ready for a boat ride? Alright, good. Back deck, I can't hear you. Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you guys ready for a boat ride? Alright, looks good to me. And then top deck, I can't see or hear you, so give me some feet taps if you're ready for a boat ride. Alright, sounds good to me. Now we are embarking on a 2-hour, 10-mile round trip tour through the beautiful upper dells of the Wisconsin River. Now along this journey we will be making 2 scenic ports of call. Our first stop will be at Witch's Gulch, a beautiful glacial meltwater canyon, and our second stop will be at the trademark the Dells Stand Rock, where we will see that world famous jumping dog perform. Now, before we get too far in this tour, I do want to introduce myself to you guys. My name is Ella. I'll be your tour guide today. A little bit about myself. This is my 2nd season working out here on the river with the Dells Boat Tours. And I'm about to be a senior in high school right here in Wisconsin Dells. Now, you've been hearing plenty from me today, so I'll pass the mic over here to our captain, go over a little bit about himself and some rules for our tour today.
Well, hello there, folks. My name is Seth. I will be your captain today. Now, show of hands or taps up top. Who's on their first Dells boat tour right now? Alrighty, most of us, yeah. Me too. Just kidding. This is my 3rd season giving tours out here on the Wisconsin River when I'm not here. Currently attending school. Next week I will be entering my first senior year at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. There I'm studying a combination of computer and information science. But that'll about do it for me. I'll get us going on some basic rules and regulations. Now these are very important as they help us stay safe and make sure everyone can enjoy the trip today. First and most important is stay seated. Boat will tend to rock and sway back and forth. We want to make sure everyone is staying safe. Don't want anyone falling over and getting hurt today, so please remember to stay seated as much as possible. I'd like to give you folks a heads up as well that you have dibs on the seats. You're currently in for the entire trip. So if you want to leave stuff there at one of the shore landings as well, you got dibs on them. So when you come back, the seat will be open for you if you want it. If you have any issues getting your seat back, just let one of us know throughout the trip. We'll be happy to help you out with that. There's no smoking allowed on board, including the usage of e-cigarettes and vapes as well. That's a courtesy to each other as well as a federal regulation. We can get in trouble if they catch you folks smoking on board today, so just please refrain from that. Save it for the end of your first shore landing at the Witch's Gulch, where there will be a smoking spot for you. That'll be the first and only point on the trip today where you are able to smoke. We'll be happy to point it out for you once we get there. Food and drink, if you brought some with you, it's more than welcome on the boat. Whatever you brought with you is okay on the boat. Anything you buy at the concession stand as well, feel free to bring it right on back to the boat with you. That goes for anything you may buy. Brought, pretzel, even the beer. Feel free to bring the beer back to the boat. The only thing we ask is that when you're finished with it, it ends up finding its way into a trash bin and not anywhere else. We want to make sure we keep the boat, the docks, and especially the river as clean as possible. We have 2 trash bins on board today. One at the back on the bottom down here by that closet, and one on the back deck. So just please use those or any of them scattered throughout the dock for any of that trash that may accumulate throughout the trip today. One final rule, and this one's very important. is please try and remember to keep your conversations down to an absolute minimum while one of us two are on the mic. We want to make sure that everyone who paid to hear the commentary today gets the opportunity to. So when we're on the mic, please just try to keep it down to a whisper as if you were at a movie theater. When we're on the mic, off the mic, feel free to discuss. Yeah, that'll about do it for all those rules. I'll get us going on the tour today. We're currently traveling on the Wisconsin River. The Wisconsin River is the longest state-contained river in the nation, getting its headwaters up in a place known as Lac du Désert on the upper Wisconsin-Michigan border, then traveling 435 miles crooked and diagonally through our state until it empties into the mighty Mississippi at Wyalusing State Park just south of Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Over the course of its journey, the river drops 1,100 feet in elevation, making it perfect for the production of hydroelectricity. There's currently 26 dams on the Wisconsin River, 21 of which are hydroelectric. And the very first one of those was the Kilbourne Dam, built right here in the Dells, all the way back in 1909. Originally used to power the electric streetcars up in Milwaukee, but nowadays we use it to power about 60% of the area homes and businesses. Now, throughout the tour today, we're here to see the Dells of the Wisconsin. That's basically a fancy way of saying where the dark rushing waters meets the flat layered rock. The word Dells is a mistranslation of a French word dolls or dalles, referring to our flat layered rock. It means flat layered rock. Wisconsin is a mistranslation of the Chippewa word minskountsing, meaning dark rushing waters. So for that reason, we'd like to say you folks are here to experience the original attraction here in the Dells. We've been giving these tours for, as we mentioned, about 168 years now. And the first water park wasn't built until the 1970s. We got a pretty good head start, over a 100-year head start on those water parks. So behind us, we say, are those things that did originally make the Dells famous. Those T-shirt shops, water parks, and that upside-down White House. It's been $5 today only for about 2 years now. We're here to see the Dells of the Wisconsin, the original attraction in the area. So without further ado, welcome aboard the Red Cloud. And handing the mic back over to Ella here. She gives an amazing tour. I'd even dare to call it tourific. It's gonna be a long 2 hours.
If you guys do look just ahead of us here, you'll see our first 2 points of interest. Notice that there are 2 cliffs that are directly across the river from each other. Now the first cliff along that right shoreline here stands at 65 feet tall. That's known as High Rock. Just across the river, ironically standing 10 feet taller at 75 feet, is known as Romance Cliff. Now Romance Cliff got its name as the Holyoke used to host their wedding ceremonies on the top of it. Now these 2 cliffs together form what is known as the Gateway to, or the Jaws of the Upper Dells. This marks the deepest point of the Wisconsin River at 110 feet deep. Now between these 2 cliffs also marks the junction of 4 Wisconsin counties, Adams, Sauk, Columbia, and Juneau counties. Did you know that? Yeah, jokes really do not get much better from here. So courtesy laughter is always greatly appreciated. Make it a little bit easier for all of us. Now our next point of interest here is just ahead of us, a little off to the right. It stands at 17 feet tall and resembles a giant stack of pancakes. That is Chimney Rock. Got its name as it resembles the stick and mortar chimneys that were used by area pioneers in the early 1800s. Now Chimney Rock is also our second most photographed formation here on our tour today, after Sand Rock. It's best seen from its upstream side, as you'll all be able to see as you look over your right shoulder as you drive past it here. Now, our next point of interest here, you'll need to use a little bit of your imagination for. You're going to be looking for the side profile of a man's face. So if you look just ahead of us off to the right, you'll see its most prominent feature is that triangular shaped notch that sticks out the front. That forms the man's nose. Then at 2 slits above it, that forms his eyes, and a slit below it, that forms his mouth. If you use a little bit more imagination, you can also see that foliage on top can serve as a headdress. Now this formation is known as Black Hawk's profile. Got its name as it resembles a great Sauk and Fox leader during the Black Hawk War of 1832. Black Hawk was very influential during his time. In fact, there are several things still named after him today. This includes the Black Hawk Islands here on the Wisconsin River, the Wisconsin Dells, a Black Hawk hockey team out of Chicago, and a Black Hawk helicopter in the Army. Alright, now I do have to say a quick favor to ask of you guys on the top deck. So if you are sitting on the right side, I can ask you guys just to move your chairs in just a couple inches towards the middle, just because we are having a little bit of a wave speed that out. Alright, thank you guys. If you look over either side of the boat here today, you may notice that the water has that beautiful brown coloration. Now that is not from mud or pollution like a lot of people may think. It is, however, from a naturally occurring substance known as tannins or tannic acid. Now, tannins are released into the water as the Wisconsin River flows through hundreds of acres of oak trees and tamarack swamps north of here. Now, tannic acid is also completely non-harmful. In fact, some of you guys may have consumed it earlier today. It is found in some of our favorite morning beverages like tea, coffee, or if you're a little bit like our captain here, some Jack Daniel's whiskey. Now, the sandstone that you guys are being on our tour today is known as Potsdam or Cambrian sandstone. It is some of the oldest exposed bedrock on Earth, only found in 4 places in the world. This includes Potsdam, Germany, Zurich, Switzerland, the mile-long stretch of it found in Potsdam, New York, and the largest deposit is right here in Wisconsin Dells. Now, this sandstone is extremely soft, allowing water and nutrients to circulate throughout it. This creates a microcooling effect here on the river. This makes the river feel 5 to 10 degrees cooler than downtown and surrounding areas. Now, this also allows these trees and vegetation to grow little to no topsoil. They can even sink their roots up to 50 feet into this stone. Now, if you guys do look just off to your left here, I want you all to look at the tree line. If you look at the tallest tree in the tree line, pretty close to the edge of the river there, if you look about 15 feet down from the top of it, there's a lone branch that has very little needles on it. You can see that there is a bald eagle perched there. You can see the silhouette of it kind of against the sky coming up here shortly. We'll also notice here that the river does split into 2 separate channels. The channel off to our left is the old riverbed. That was the original passage of the Wisconsin River. It is, however, much too shallow for boats our size to navigate, as it averages about 2 to 5 feet deep. Our boat needs at least 6 feet of water in order to travel safely, using the Narrows or the new riverbed off to our right here. Now, these 2 channels do form this island directly ahead of us, known as Black Hawk Island. It's just over 170 acres and currently owned by the University of Wisconsin. Now, the university runs a camp on the shore behind the island known as Camp Upham Woods. They host school groups, 4-H, scouts, and other organizations studying the nature there on this island. It's also found that every tree species native to Wisconsin can be found there. Now, this island got its name as many believe that Black Hawk hit off the U.S. government here. However, researchers later found that not to be true, as she was captured 40 miles northwest of here near Tomah, Wisconsin. Now, if you guys do look just off to your left here, you'll notice that there are 2 rock outcroppings from Black Hawk Island that have a similar size, shape, and vegetation. Now, it's because of this and their close proximity that we like to call them the twin sisters of the Dells. Now, of course, twin sisters do need a good set of names. So, first sister here we're passing right now, her name is Kate. About 50 yards upstream from Kate, that orange and white, no wake sign on it, is her twin sister, Duplicate. Now, our next point of interest here is coming up just off to our right. So inlet to the sandstone there, it's known as Chapel Gorge because when the sun filters through those treetops, it gives it a cathedral-like setting. Now just outside of Chapel Gorge is the aptly named Pulpit Rock. several different points here where the river is deeper than it is wide. The narrowest point is just 52 feet wide with a depth of 90 feet. Now, before Wisconsin was known for its beer, cheese, and those Green Bay Packers, of course, we were originally known for our lumbering industry. Millions of feet of milled lumber made its way to market down this very river in lumber rafts. Those were controlled by lumber raftsmen. Now, if you were to ask them about their journey, they would have told you the most difficult part was right here in the Narrows. More specifically, directly ahead of us here, you'll notice it looks like the river comes to a dead end. This is a 90-degree turn to the left, known as the Devil's Elbow. Now, because this was so dangerous, it did bring about a new profession here in Wisconsin Dells, known as standing river pilots. There were around 4 of those pilots that we know of that became masters at guiding these rafts through the Narrows. The most commonly known of was Leroy Gates. He used to hop on those rafts in a top hat, patent leather shoes, and a Prince Albert coat. He even used to promise never to lose any lumber or lives, and as far as we know, he did keep true to that promise. Also left us the first billboard here in Wisconsin Dells. It's right here on the river. It's an engraving into the sandstone that we can still see here today. It's coming up here shortly. It'll be off to our left. Yes, be able to look off to your left here in this little alcove here. It'll sit about 6 feet above the water, just below the darkest band of sandstone. It reads Leroy Gates, Dells and River Pilot, 1849 to 58. The easiest word to read there is river. Now, while Leroy Gates promised never to lose any lumber or lives, he did lose his job when the railroad came through in 1857. This offered a much safer way of getting lumber to market. Now, loving the river and not wanting to leave the Dells, he started something known as the Devil's Boat Tours. Anyone ever heard of those before? No? Yeah, you're all on one of those tours today. However, his tour's a bit different. So on Leroy's tours, go down to his private docks. You then pay him 2 bits. He would then give you 2 oars, and you would do the rowing anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. While Leroy sat in the bow of the boat, most likely under an umbrella and sipping a lemonade, while he told you some stories of the Dells. Do you like to think our tour's just a bit more accommodating these days? white-tailed deer, we have squirrels, chipmunks, rabbits, fox, coyotes, 27 different kinds of fish. This includes smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, trout, carp, walleye, catfish, and the largest one we have here is known as the lake sturgeon. That fish up to 7 feet long and upwards of 200 pounds. Now let's mark a short break in our commentary, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy your ride. Park, meaning that there is very little to no access to Republic onto the tour that you are all on today. Now for another short break in our commentary, we'll do our first stop at Witches Gulch in just a few minutes, so you just sit back, relax, and enjoy your ride at Witches Gulch. Now, while we are docking here, we do ask you guys to keep any heads, arms, or small children our beautiful lawn furniture. Now, while we were back here at Witch's Gulch, there'll probably be a couple other boats back here with us. So just a reminder, you guys are all on the Red Cloud with Seth and Ella. Again, you're on the Red Cloud with Seth and Ella. So if you hear the last call for Red Cloud, make sure you guys get out of the concession stand area and start heading back to the boat. We don't want anyone to get left behind because it's a pretty long and cold swim back to our home docks. Now we'll be spending around 20 minutes here at Witch's Gulch, so you all need to be back on this boat by 11:25. Again, be back on this boat by 11:25. It's at least a 5-minute walk back here from the concession stand area, so please make sure to keep that in mind. Make sure you leave that area by 11:20 if you have not already. Now, we also always recommend to people that you make that first walk in pretty quickly again, and then as soon as you get back there, that's when you want to make any purchases, use the facilities, anything like that. As soon as you get back there, and then feel free to take anything you guys buy back there along with you on the walk. This is just to ensure that you guys have the chance to really enjoy the beauty of the walk and not the concession stand, because we always like to think the walk is the most beautiful part of Witch's Gulch here. Alright, and with that, enjoy your walk through Witch's Gulch, and I'll see you guys all back there.
Yeah, well, if it was on the concrete. Actually,
My watch is probably gonna die today because I didn't.
No, not every day. I'm saying. But someday I try. I go for 7,000.
You're right.
Help me walk faster.
You just taking a picture of yourself. Sorry.
It's all good. I'm in no hurry.
Red Cloud is that way, Yellow Thunder is this way.
please make sure you hold on to any hats, sunglasses, phones, keys, anything like that. If you guys do happen to lose anything overboard, please raise your hand. Then come up to you, I'll then raise my hand, and we can both wave goodbye to it together. And with that, enjoy your ride over to Sand Rock. It should be there around 5 minutes. But 17 good tries. We're gonna finally get the perfect picture. Now that was taken back in 1886. When we get up there, you guys I'll be recreating it with a dog in the middle. Now if you look just ahead of us here, you'll see the Stand Rock docks. Notice we do actually have 2 different docks here. Now this means that we'll be dropped off on the dock there on the right. We'll then make a U-shaped walk. We'll Seth moves the boat from one dock to the other. We'll then be picked up on the dock there on the left. Now this does mean if you guys decide to make the walk here at Stand Rock, you do have to finish the entire thing. There is no retracing your steps here. Now just to let you guys know, there is a section of the walk that does have a hill, has on a 20% incline. Now to put this into perspective for you guys, this means for around every 5 steps you take forward, you go about a step up. So if you do have any heart conditions, injuries, or just don't feel like joining us here today, you guys can feel free to stay here on the boat if you would like. You guys get to know Seth here a little bit better. He does tend to think he is pretty cool. Now, if you guys do decide to make the walk here at Stand Rock, we'll make part of the walk, we'll stop, of course, see that world famous dog jump, and then we continuing on with our walk. Now along this walk, you get very close to that sandstone, so please make sure you do not do anything to harm it. This includes sitting on it, standing on it, climbing on it, carving your name into it, anything like that. There's a $209 fine, so please don't do that here today. We really do hold a lot of value with our sandstone, so please don't take it for granted. Now you guys also notice here on the dock, there's a small section that has no railing on one side, so please make sure you watch your step and hold on to any small children who theater. We'll watch that dog jump in just a few minutes here.
Chasm.
Jumps up. Yeah, chasm.
Stop it.
Oh. It's chasm.
It's not.
It's chasm.
To me, it's chasm. Me too, Jess.
Chasm.
I didn't take it serious.
5.5-foot gap in between it. Now, at this point, I was be able to recreate this famous picture here, but with a dog in the middle. So if you guys do want to get out any phones, cameras, or recording devices, now I will recommend that you guys take a video and screenshot it later because it happens very fast, and we don't get 17 tries like Bennett did. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes? All right, we're ready.
He's gonna go. Somewhere else.
If you go the other way.
All right, it's all good hand for Bennett and his stream All right, now it's this point that we will be continuing our walk through Stand Rock. Now, as I mentioned, Seth has already moved boat from one dock to the other, so we're back onto that boat. You guys need to follow this green railing here off to our right. In this walk, there is a hill. Top of the hill, you'll see there is a building there. There's a souvenir shop, concession stand, and restroom. Please don't stop there and hang out for too long. It's only restroom your halfway point of the walk. You guys will have to walk through that building and then take a right or continue your walk and see all of your points of interest. Now, this walk does take 15 minutes, so you'll all need to be back on the boat by around 12:05. All right, and with that, enjoy your walk through Stand Rock.
It's physically impossible to make that.
Then don't walk over in front of me. I'm sorry. It's okay. You're fine. There you go.
More, be sure I could jump it up 15 feet. How far I could jump, I used to do it right there.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Their own smile. Holy rocks. Cool. Slow.
Yeah.
How's Stand Rock? Better than the Witch's Gulch? No, probably not. Like, that's my favorite part of the trip, but Stand Rock's hell is something. Anyways, off to the left-hand side of the boat is Louise Bluff. It's that big hill. I'll show you out to the left. Kind of looks like the head of a toothbrush sticking out of the river, some people say. Louis Bluff marks the head of the Dells. If we were to go further out past that, well, you guys can actually kind of tell. There's not really many rock formations to see. It's also so shallow, we could walk you from one side to the other and you wouldn't even get your knees wet. So it does mark our turnaround point for the day. And on the way back, there won't be nearly as much commentary as there was on the way up. We're going to be going by all the same stuff. It's just going to be on the other side of the boat for you. So we reserve this time for you folks to enjoy the ride in the company of those you came on board with. It's only about a 25 to 30 minute walk to get back downtown, but in the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy the view.
folks on the top, if your benches are still scooted over, if you're on that right-hand side, you can push them back against the railing for me if you'd like.
Take a picture before the trip.
I did.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You have fun?
Yes.
Good. Thanks for coming.